recording. Good morning, folks, and happy 2025. I cannot believe this. All right, let me share my screen fully there. You've got that. I think I'm going to have to come up with a new logo for 2025. So welcome. I really cannot believe we are in 2025, and look at all these January birthdays. Anybody here with a January birthday? Jason's got a birthday this month. Who else here has a birthday this month? Happy birthday. I love seeing all the different birthdays of everyone. Every month we're filled with a ton of birthdays, but it's always fun to see who's got a birthday each month. We also have many anniversaries this year, some from John Hall that I guess finally moved over a little later than others. And somehow I forgot to A, bring my phone, and B, turn it off. So that'll be fun. My watch will be bouncing around. Okay, so happy anniversary to all of you guys. Look at that. And is Kyle? Kyle isn't here. It's his 1 year anniversary. Well, oh, look at that. Okay, all right. So we've got a couple of Kyles and Melissa's return. Her second round here has started another 1 year. I know, that's amazing. And Austin, where's Austin over there? Is he hiding in the office? He's got 1 year. So, Jody, that can't be right. You're 2 years? No, she's been here longer than that, right? That's interesting. Okay. All right, we'll move on. We have our $1 Million Club. Now, does anybody have an idea of what I'm going to say, what is different from last month to this month on this set of numbers here? Does anybody remember that slide from last year? Maybe or last month. It was last year, but so remember, this is the December $1 Million Agent Club. Congratulations to all of you. Does anybody remember a little difference from the November to the December? Any guesses?
Two-digit number on the line?
No, we had 2 digits the last month.
I think so.
But we only had 15 agents hit the $1 Million Club in November. If you notice, there are 17 agents. It's a trick here. Leaf and Barbara, I'm counting you together. So that's 17 because the 2 of you working together. But that's a lot more agents that hit $1 million in December. Typically, and somebody did send me this question, so that's why I asked, when is the slowest time of the year? Cyclically, does anybody share when you feel the slowest time normally is? If there's a quarter of the year that's slowest, when is it? The quarter, it's October, November, December, right? So it was very interesting because we went up $31 million in activity last month in this office alone. In December. Go PV. That's incredible, right? In December to jump to $88 million in transactions. So congratulations to all of you. Thank you for your work, and glad you joined us. So again, just some cool differences. As for the lives, Melissa, you were talking about that. We actually had a few less lives, just more dollars, less lives, 79 instead of 93 in November. All right, we did welcome, and we'll put this for next month as well. Manuel joined us this month. We didn't actually hire anybody in December. Not unusual. December is usually a month we see a lot of people going, not sure what I'm going to do because of renewals in January. And so we always kind of see a little shift December, January. So Manuel's, we'll welcome him for 2025. And a reminder, and Manuel came to us because one of you reached out to him and said, hey, why don't you check Realty One Group out? Don't forget, if you give 3 referrals, you get a full year of no monthly dues. So if you're counting like I am, that's $600. So anybody want a free $600? Send some agents my way. I'd be happy to talk to them. All right, here's the part I know you like. So let's get down to some numbers. So I have November snapshot on the left, December snapshot on the right? So if you'll see, and I went through the middle, the sales price for December went up $37,000. The solds were up 432 items. That is actually a big jump, right? In terms of, 5,500, 400 is a lot to jump up. Now, under contract went down. No surprise because it was December. We often have a slowdown in that month of people taking action, but we actually closed more deals in December, which is good. Average days on market, again, little higher because people stretch out and don't go necessarily looking from November to December. Those that do are interested in getting the job done. Oftentimes for tax purposes, people need to get that deal closed out. Inventory active and coming soon, down a little bit. Again, coming soon, I really could care less about, but I show you that the two of them combined. Very important is this year over year, right? Sales price 2024 versus December of 2023 was up 9.8%. Solds were up 13%. That is incredible, folks, and something we need to remember. That is huge for us. Things are going up. Contracts were only up 0.7%, but things are getting sold. So I'll go ahead and do this. I do have that year over year for you to look at in just a minute. All right, I went ahead and I don't know if we can see that 577. It's 577,822. That was the number in November. Those numbers in blue are the November numbers. And you can see the average sales price that was 614, right? That jumped up. Again, you can see the differences. The active coming soons went down, but the solds went up. So I just repeated that. Now let's look at Maricopa County, right? Because if you remember, those first numbers were still everywhere. I don't think she shifted it to Maricopa County. I was hoping Leah was going to do that. I'll talk to her tomorrow at an event I'll be at and say, please switch it to Maricopa. Maricopa County, when I went on, it had 16,000 active listings, right? Single family, 11,900, right? This is right now. Those numbers are both up in inventory, which is not a bad thing. Remember, our inventory is at historic lows, okay? Unfortunately, our UCB, CCBS, and pending is down, coming soon down. Now, this is showing Maricopa County down, but only by 150, so it's really not a huge drop there. Again, not unusual for December, so just keep that in mind. Now, let's look into the 10-mile radius of our office. As of last night, we had 3,598 active listings. Almost 2,100 of those were single-family homes. Both of those numbers are up just a little bit, right? We're using smaller numbers here, so any up is a win here. UCB, CCBS pending, both single family and condo townhomes, et cetera, are down just a tad bit, right? Coming soon, 25 single family, 28 overall. So that means only 3 condos. No, but people in condos probably or townhomes are not listing them as coming soon, not a big deal. The interesting thing though is last month, the amount of inventory in our 10-mile radius was down, right? So when you look at the total overall sold last month of 909 in this 10-mile radius, that's down by almost a third, right? If you take 500 on top of that the month before, that's a huge drop. So that's unfortunate. It's right here that we're not seeing the activity, but we're seeing it all around. Okay. It is huge. Oh, I don't know, because it goes all the way to Paradise Valley, all the way north to Desert Ridge, right? But this is what I want you guys to take a look at, okay? So for those of you online, you're seeing that. If you look on the bottom, you are looking at year over year numbers. This is really, really important. If you look at the last 3 months, which are traditionally slower months, all 3 of those months are year over year above last year. That is very important. We want to go into 2025 with that sense of let's keep moving. Some of what I'm hearing is people are like, I can't wait anymore for the interest rates to drop. I need to buy a house, right? So how can I get it done? Maybe when Mike's up here, he'll talk to us about some of what people are doing with that. But that's what we're starting here is people are like, I can't wait any longer, right? I've waited an entire year and I can't do it anymore. So we need to be aware of that as you're talking to your clients, show them if they're not buying it, somebody else is, okay? And we are seeing that movement. This is a great page to share with your clients. You get this every month with what I send out with those market reports. This is one of those market reports. This is one of the slides in there that you can pull out. You don't have to give them everything. Pull out what you want to talk about. You could add this to your listing presentation, right? These are good tools for you to use. Okay, for those that prefer to take a peek at the 1004, this is where we are. Sales price again increased, as we said last month, about $2,000 in the single family homes for Maricopa County. Again, I narrowed it down to Maricopa County because that general sheet we get is the whole state. You know, we have no idea, is that picking up Tucson? Is it picking up Flagstaff? Right? So here you've got this, the price did increase a little bit. List price increased $5,000. So sellers are trying to get any dime they can, right? Sold price didn't increase quite that much. Housing supply increased to 4.4 months. So just a little added time on the market, but not that bad. What does that mean for buyers? What does that mean when we have more time on the market? More room for negotiation, right? It's a buyer's market, not a seller's market. Buyers are getting interest rate buy downs. They're getting closing costs. They're getting things they're looking for. They're asking for them and getting them. Okay. Let's see. All right. The next one. Again, I keep this sheet. If you ever want to see it, let me know. I'll share the slide with you. I keep all of these and you can go back to the YouTube and see them. All right. So here's our 10-mile radius. This is, I'll show you the numbers in just a second. This is the whole year with those numbers over to the side. The current price is, it went up, I think, it went down $1,000. All right, so $699 from $700,000. The median list price increased almost $10,000. The housing supply increased again 4.2 months. The other was 4.4, if you remember, but that's up almost half a month. So again, we are in a buyer's market right now. We are seeing negotiations take place. Okay, we're moving on to our guest today. I psyched you out by putting something else on our newsletter, but welcome Vaughn. I'm repping a Rock Title shirt here. I don't know if you can see that. I've got my Rock Title, but it's a little chilly, so I've got my jacket on. So Realty One, come on up here. We gotta raise this this camera for you because yes. I'm too short. So like a pod? Sure. You can do that and just click your button and you got it. Yeah, right. So for those that don't know, this is Vaughn Kelly, our new VP of Rock Title. Welcome aboard.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Good morning.
Hold on, I'm gonna go grab my phone actually. Everybody get your phones out.
Yes. So I was gonna say, you probably usually wouldn't bring your phones out, but in this case, I'm gonna walk you guys through briefly, like a super quick overview on how to set up Rock Agent, which is a Palm Agent app. I don't know if any of you already have it on your phones, but to piggyback off of what Melissa said was, you can use a ton of calculators that will help you whenever you have these meetings with your clients. You can go over, buy now or wait later and see what the difference is of somebody is trying to wait for the rate to drop and how much equity they're going to be losing in their home. You can pull up different types of commission calculators so you know what you're going to walk away with and things like that. But let's just hop into it. So, Rock Agent gives us closing costs, like I mentioned, but you can also share all of these with your clients, which is huge. So it brands it to you. Makes it look highly professional. The desktop version's very easy to use as well. But what we're going to want you to do, if you have an Android or iPhone, just go to the App Store real quick. you're gonna type in Rock Agent, all one word, and you should see the app pop up like this. And I'll give you guys a quick second, so I'm not rushing you. There's gonna be a couple of screens that you'll run into. And then,
And hearing the dings, how many other people? I'm hearing them as they ding on there, as they add the app.
Forgot my password.
Your face, your
Password's not doing that anymore.
doesn't even recognize your face anymore. It's electronics, man. Okay. All right, so once you kind of have it downloaded, go ahead and select the app to fire it up. It's gonna immediately ask for your email address. Just type that in. And if you already have like a similar app, from any other title company, this isn't going to, confuse the system or anything like that, because we have it branded to us individually. Once you type in your email, it's going to ask you for your password, retype the password. You're going to select sign up. To your first, last name, phone number, company. And then the last one is going to be like the home information part. So choose Arizona, and then the county, and then which office that you send all of your escrows to with Rock Title, which is Roberta's office, I hope.
Roberta and Art would appreciate that
Yeah.
right here on TV.
Yep,
But you can continue to use Jacqueline if you've been working with Jacqueline, but we would love to have your business right here.
absolutely. You guys can run up and yell at us. We're right there, run
No,
into any
can't
issue.
yell.
You go for signings, it's really convenient.
And then select your sales exec if you're working with one. If not, feel free to use me. I have my face, I think it's at the bottom. And then once that's fired up, it's going to walk us through setting up your buyers, a buyer agent compensation, especially like with, I believe with like the NAR rules that just changed. All this information is customizable after the fact. So if it does change and the percentage is less or more, you can adjust it in there. You set the seller broker fee. You can skip through kind of most of the mentions, but one thing that I'll get into towards the end is premium. And what it's $10 for the year, but what it allows you to do is have all of the content, whether if that's the social media marketing tools, all of your seller net sheets, things like that will have your face and your contact information branded to you. Okay. Let me know where you guys are at. Are we all caught up or you need me to slow down a little bit?
Maybe find it down.
Okay.
Sorry. Let's do a Wi-Fi.
Yeah, get off the Wi-Fi. I'll see it up.
Oh,
I'll click the Wi-Fi. Get up with that.
Oh, all right. Hey, that's a great tip. Actually, if you disconnect the Wi-Fi, it instantly went on.
This is bringing me back to my old Verizon wireless days. Okay, so at the bottom, whenever you have it loaded, it's going to look like this screen here. Or if you were to go to if you were to click like the title rep's face or my face in this case, this is the first screen that you'll see. It kind of gives you just a brief overview of some of the calculators and the title and escrow fees, which I at this point in time, I'd still recommend that you do your due diligence with maybe reaching out to, escrow officer just to ensure like those fees are correct, because they're in the process of correcting a lot of that. And sometimes when you're sending off these rates, it could be more or a little less, but just to kind of throw that out there as a side note. But Also at the bottom, you'll see buyer, seller, and calculators. So if you guys want to go ahead and click on buyer, you can see here where you can add the home price, you can choose the loan type, and this is going to help your buyers understand a little bit more about their purchasing power. So it's also going to show, you know, an area where you can include their insurance. I'm gonna type in 750,000 for right now, hit compute. So their P&I, taxes, all of that information is going to show their monthly payment. And then in this case, and like every other page, if you look at the top right, there's a little box with an arrow popping out of it. That's going to allow you to share this with your clients. And if you continue to scroll down, you can always adjust the sales price, you know, the loan type, if you want to go to, you know, FHA, VA, etc. Down payment, and the same with seller net sheet. So if you were to go to seller, it's going to do the same thing. You might get a little pop-up that says home link. So basically HomeLink is going to try to communicate with the county to get those fees for you. Now, one cool thing that I'd like to mention about the seller side, if you guys want to go ahead and just throw in, you know, a random number, I'm going to use 750,000, and you hit compute, it's going to immediately show, you know, net at close, all the fees that they're going to pay. But if you shake your phone, it will give you like different increments. It's a little fun.
Small thing.
I know.
Who would have thought shaking a phone would be like exciting?
Yeah,
Don't shake the
but-
baby, but shake the phone.
it'll give you different increments in 10,000 from that original price that will showcase all of those net sheets. So like, you know, if you guys are like, well, what if we dropped it 20K? Just do a quick shake, boom, and it'll give you those answers right away.
Shake.
Now, calculators. Calculators is very in-depth. We're gonna need a lot more time to kind of go through it, but a lot of the titles that you see are self-explanatory. They give you a little bit of details. One that I thought was super cool that I mentioned earlier was the buy now or buy later. That's gonna show your clients, you know, if they were to wait and try to wait for the rate to drop, the potential commission that they're going to lose. And you can adjust the years. So if they're like, well, you know, maybe in 2 years, you know, I'll get a 2% again. It's like, no, you're going to miss out on like $15,000 when you could purchase your home now.
20, 30.
Something like that. Yeah. But one that I'd like you guys to select is a compensation calculator. And then we're gonna do 750,000 as the example again. We're gonna hit compute. And then, hold on one second. And you can see, I mean, it's kind of similar to the other one, but like, you can see at the top, you can adjust it to 100% or 50%. And it's still gonna provide you two different separate offers that you can provide to your clients. So I think there was one more. Also, there's a buy down calculator.
Yeah, what's the 100%? It's showing whether if you're waiting and if you're paying half of the buyer agent compensation or all of the buyer agent compensation, what is that cost to you as the buyer?
Oh, you just have 6% to like cut it in half.
Yeah, exactly.
So assuming that the seller would pay 50% and they're gonna pay 50%.
Yeah.
They pay all of it. Why would you need that versus the buyer calculator?
Well, the buyer calculator is gonna just show you more of like the form, like that you can share. So it'd be presented differently whenever you're sending it to your clients, but it also shows all of the taxes, fees, and insurance that are included. And it'll give you, I think this one also does the same thing, but it'll also give you like the monthly payments. So if they're already qualified and they know what they're gonna spend, this would help them out tremendously, in regards to their purchasing power.
So just for clarity, so this is assuming that what they're paying is gonna get wrapped up in their loan?
Like the other stuff?
Yes, yes, that's correct. They also have the rent versus buy calculator, which I think is super cool for those people who, the non-owner occupieds. If you guys wanted to generate like a campaign around that, you can kind of provide them with some additional details of the money that they're missing out on. But I would recommend taking some time just to, when you guys have some downtime, just to kind of go through them and just kind of get a little acclimated. We're gonna have more in-depth trainings for you all, so we can get into it and dive deep and answer all your questions. I have a Palm agent rep that is going to be educating my sales team on how to navigate through this. And then also we want to be able to create the decks for everybody so they can kind of follow through with this. All right, moving right along. So with the premium, it has a lot of tools for your marketing. So this can kind of help speed up, your brand, your awareness, and things like that. They have the monthly marketing packages, and it's kind of set up for like a different theme for each month. But it also includes like multiple marketing pieces that you can easily use. It plugs and plays all of your personal details with those forms. So if you were to, let's see, for instance, like for the days on market, you guys, I wish I had like a thing you can plug up to this, but anyway, it will show you 30, 60, 90 days. You should be able to click on it, I believe, just so you can view it. I don't know if you have to pay for it first. I think mine is already paid for, but there's so many graphics that you can swipe through, and it's for every social media provider. So Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, it's all optimized for those displays. And they have like the carousel, like when you might see on Instagram, you can keep sliding through photos, but it's all going to be consistent and streamlined branding, same color theme, all of that stuff. But it's going to have all the market update information for your viewers. Infographics.
Yeah, it's like a subscription then that you're paying for the app?
Yes, that's correct.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, or 99 cents a month.
That's really.
Yeah, $10 a year. But they have like they have filters for like just listed, just sold, open house, you name it. I mean, it's all in there. And like I said, if you wanted something more customized, that's where we can kind of come in and utilize our customer service team to, we call it rockifying everything. So if you wanted it more poppy or like more luxury and you don't see a template in here that you like or that matches your brand, just reach out to us and we can provide those social media marketing tools for you as well. And that goes, I mentioned the swipeable infographics. It also has personalized videos. So basically it'll give you more information about, whether if that's the market you're in, tips. It'll show like a video animation, and at the very end, it'll be branded to you. And then I already kind of went over the calculators. You can share those on social media as well. And that's pretty much just a quick rundown. Again, just stay tuned for some more in-depth training. If you guys enjoy the app, I think you will. It's going to help speed up your process, especially with your meetings that you have. And it'll give you a really good representation of your brand and your business. But follow me on Instagram. Realtors love me. If you guys want to check out some of
That's it, that's
my
his
video
handle.
marketing stuff, and or just reach out to me directly if you have any questions. I'd be more than happy to help you guys out. Right.
What, can you tell us why they left you? What's your
Oh, yeah.
number one thing here? Hold on.
So, I built my business off of video marketing. So I do home tours, or we call it talking head videos, where it's just like you standing in front of the camera talking about the market, or why you're different from your competition, things like that. I've done media days, but primarily it's like virtual tours. So it's like high quality video. I really took a lot of pride into, what I do. It took a lot of time to learn it, but it's on the scale of, high quality video marketing. So I use drone, I do the filming, the editing, all by myself. And, I got a lot of positive feedback from it. A lot of my clients close business deals through YouTube, LinkedIn, especially Instagram. A lot of them don't really even do like the farming type of marketing. They utilize the videos that we produce together. So
And you'll be showing us some more of that as the year goes on. So
Yeah,
look forward to it.
absolutely.
Thank you. Awesome. Oh, I see. Turn around. That's what he wanted
Oh,
you to
yeah.
do. I was like, I couldn't figure out what he was telling me to do. Okay, for those that are online that could not see that, he has a really cool Let's Rock on the back of his shirt that has a lightning bolt there. Awesome. Okay. So let's see, what is my next thing? Well, Jim is here, so he's gonna have fun. He has no idea what I'm gonna go over today, so I'm gonna be humored to see if he can help answer these questions. So how many of you remember that in November, I brought up that AAR had made some changes to their contract? Now, how many of you know when AAR typically revises their contracts? February and when? August, February and August. So what month is next month? Oh, isn't that interesting? So let me let you know. Can I do this? Is this okay? This afternoon, it will be announced that there will be changes to 3 documents. The compensation, well, that's all I know about. Compensation agreement between brokers, the seller compensation addendum, and the ER listing agreement. Now, part of the reason for that is because that one's going away. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye cab form, okay? And so because the cab form is going away, what do we have to modify? The seller compensation addendum and the ER listing agreement. Does that make sense, folks? There is no longer any compensation agreement between brokers. Now, how many of you think this is a surprise? None of you, because when we first talked about these in August, many of us said, this is coming. This is coming. So February, guess what? Here we go. Compensation agreement between brokers is gone. You will hear about it this afternoon from AAR. So wanted to give you the sneak peek on that. So ER lines 50 and 51 are going away because there's no cab. So you don't have to leave them blank because they're not there anymore, right? You can have a conversation with your client on whether or not they want you to disclose that they are going to provide compensation or are willing to provide compensation. We'll go into that in more detail. I actually have not seen the actual forms. So Leaf, you don't need to take a photo of you can. I'm teasing. You can take a photo of it, but we will go over these once we get them. But I actually have not seen them. So I feel like I don't really want to talk about how to address those, but we will have information on how we will be able to address those shortly. But let's talk about MLS choice forms. And no, I'm not giving them to you today. But let's talk about some differences between MLS choice and AAR. So we're going to have a quiz here. Everybody got a piece of paper out? I'm joking. But let's see how well you guys and folks online, you can join in with this. How well you know our AAR forms, okay? I'm going to give you the MLS choice version. And you tell me what exists on the AAR version. See, Jim, we'll test your knowledge here, right? He's like going, oh, don't do this. All right. So earnest money is due within 2 business days. On the AAR form, when is the earnest money due?
On acceptance.
Upon acceptance, contract acceptance. Thank you, Melissa. Awesome. Okay. Buyer broker compensation is within the purchase contract. SCA or the cab, which is now gone, needed for buyer broker compensation, right? So you're getting the swing of this, right? So those of you that are afraid of these new forms, don't know that you have to be totally afraid of them, right? So failure to close on the MLS choice is curable at 5:01 p.m. on the day of close of escrow. When can you cure on failure to close on AAR?
11:59 in 1 second. Next business day.
How about 12 a.m.? Nice try there. You got to get past the 11:59, so midnight. Okay. All right. Earnest money disputes go to mediation. What happens with AAR? Earnest money disputes handled by title, right? Okay. See, HOA fees terms within the purchase contract. HOA addendum. See, you guys are getting this, right?
Might be the mediation, like, why did title lose some draw?
Oh, title's not disappointed about that.
Well, I assume, yeah, title doesn't care, but I'm just curious, like,
It's what the attorney wrote. What the attorney wrote. So I'm just trying to give you guys an overview of these new forms. PQF, pre-qualification form, can be a letter from the bank. No proof of funds required for cash. AAR,
with the.
pre-qual or proof of funds needed. No LSU required. AAR, LSU is required, right? Specify seller financing shall be handled by seller and or an attorney. Who handles that with the AAR forms? So who handles it? The agent can help complete the seller financing addendum, right? So anything on here make you panic? All of it, all of it. That's very funny. Really? Like, do you understand that the differences are not leaps and bounds? Okay. So what you need to consider are these different changes. And there's another 8 of these, but I just wanted to give you an idea of the beginning. We're going to go through the other 8. Okay.
What I early on in my career is you need to be educated on all the current forms, not only to protect your client, but to protect yourself from the other agents who think they're gonna do it their way.
Correct.
So I think this is just more for us to learn, because if we're not educated, even if we don't choose the MLS choice.
Somebody's going to send you a contract. So,
Then you'll say, well, then, you know.
Right. so wire fraud clause is within the purchase contract, AAR. It's a Oops, I hit the wrong thing. There we go. Specific wire fraud advisory. Buyer contingency is a clause within the purchase contract. We have the buyer contingency form, right? Assignments require written approval. Who likes that one,
Yeah.
right? Assignments are allowed in the AAR contract. In the MLS choice, they have to be agreed to. Same contract for both residential and vacant land. Obviously, AAR has separate residential and vacant land contracts. There is no residential lease agreement currently available for anyone using MLS choice. Obviously, we have a residential lease agreement available. One buyer broker agreement. How many does AAR have? 2, right? Specific or exclusive, right? Combined counteroffer and addendum form. AAR is separate, right? Combined septic well addendum, and there's no 1% seller paid repair fee. So any of you listing agents that have a well or a septic system, sorry, not well, and get an offer from an MLS choice buyer, what do you need to look for then? You need to look if your seller wants that 1% repair. So obviously separate on-site wastewater treatment and well addenda. Okay? If your seller wants it, yes, because otherwise there is no, that's actually the seller that does it, so you don't have to do it. It's not included. If the seller is agreeing to do it, great. If nobody's asking for it, you don't have to do anything. So, did I miss anything, Jim, you think of?
There's a lot of, those are highlights for sure.
Okay, I haven't looked at the late, I haven't even looked at 13 pages. I haven't even looked at it because it keeps, yeah, I haven't seen the final version.
You know, when you get when you have a buyer contingency for your buyer who sold their house in like Wisconsin or Washington or whatever, and you get that other contract, it's all, a lot of them are all in one too.
Correct.
Another state.
Correct. All right. Well, congrats. You got through all of that. We will be going over these in my next Tuesday. I hope to have a copy of the MLS choice forms to go over them so you can get an overview of them. Okay. Because we want to make sure you can see those forms. So look, Tuesday training MLS choice forms overview for next Tuesday, just to let you know that that's there. Jackie is hiding back there, but thanks to Jackie, she is going to do another fire, deed theft, and water. How many of you have taken that already? Oh, you're not going to see many people from this room. Wow, that's pretty cool. I don't know about you, but as these wildfires were spreading in California, I really thought about the stuff we learned in that class that I had never considered before. And I had friends that lost their homes there. I went to college in California, for those that don't know. So I lived very close to the Eaton fire in the Pasadena, Eagle Rock area, but near the Pasadena, Glendale area. So I know that most of those people, they were regular. The Eaton fire, yes, was down that mountain, but it went well into the Altadena, North Pasadena area, into regular neighborhoods, folks. It was, I mean, I would never have thought of brush around my home. I mean, for most of those folks, that just right there. Obviously, those up against the mountains that were in the further north part of Altadena, but it really came to light because of what we learned in that class, because I never thought about that for our clients and making them aware of that. And it certainly is something. We've got plenty of homes that are near the mountains, near public lands, near areas like that and we've certainly seen our fair share of wildfires here. So something to consider. For those of you renewing your license in 2025, this is a requirement. It is 3 individual 1-hour classes. Jackie teaches it as a 3-hour class. It is general education. The commissioner has removed, I guess, one of our general education options in that you have to take these 3 1-hour classes as part of your 24-hour renewal. So I did hear somebody is offering it online if somebody needs that option. This class will be upstairs in Rock Title, thanks to our Rock Title affiliate. So if you're interested in it or need it, or talk to anybody that might be looking for it, please be aware of that.
Yeah, I could see the date on that.
January
Yeah.
29th. Yep, it's all the way at the upper top. I'm sorry. I always forget that little thing sits there. I don't know why. Okay. In this office, I'm kind of in a unique position, thanks to Jim. This is all Jim's fault. Like all of these no, I'm kidding. All these John Holland. So I've got a lot of people that are getting ready to retire. Realty One Group finally has a referral only option. It is something, if you know anybody that is looking to retire that's not with Realty One Group, they can come on board and join the Realty One Group referral group. If you have been working with them and they're outside of here, they like talking to you, this is a great way to bring them on board. Again, works for your little referral thing. As far as I know, nobody's told me it doesn't. So refer them on over to Realty One Group. It's $99 sign up fee. If you are an existing Realty One agent, that is waived. If we move you this month, we are transferring the $50 that you paid for your January dues into the $99 annual fee, so you don't lose that. You do not have to pay any of the associations or MLS Choice. You don't pay Armless, Supra, all of those go away because you are not actively doing real estate. You are referring only, okay? So I've had a lot of people have called me and said they want to go inactive, and I'm said, well, why not go to this? You keep your license active with the department, which means you do need to do your renewal credits to keep your license active, but it's basically $99 a year, and you have a $5,000 annual transaction fee cap on your referrals that you send out, and you have access to our whole referral network. So great opportunity if you know anybody looking at that. All right, this is my headache this week. Who are the parties to a contract? Buyer and seller. That's amazing. Thank you so much. So who signs the purchase contract? Buyer and seller. Isn't that funny? I don't quite understand. I've had 3 longtime agents get caught in addendums, multiple addendums. Who can be obligated by the purchase contract? Yeah. Anybody guessing where I'm going here? No. If an agent wants to contribute to the transaction, to either the buyer or the seller, where don't they do that? 4 addendums, 3 days, 4 addendums. Buyer's agent agrees to, listing agent agrees to, buyer's, like, what are you doing? You're not a part of the contract. You don't sign the contract. You can't be obligated by the contract. Where do you give a credit? CDI, right. Now, if you want that to be communicated, how do you do that on the contract? If that's really what you want to do.
I mean, the addendum to your buyer broker agreement.
Well, who are you working with? Right. So you know what? If you're working with a buyer and the buyer wants to say, I'm going to give buyer, not you, buyer's going to give a credit, and then they go to you and you've already said, I'll take care of that credit for you. You work with your client with an addendum to your agreement or send the CDI, but it's on your CDI, right? But you can't be obligated in the contract. I'm not joking. Buyer's agent agrees to pay, blah, blah, listing agent agrees to pay literally on addendums. We've closed, the deal's closed. I'm looking at this going, you guys have been agents for how long?
That's just when emotions get involved from everyone and.
Oh, and the
agents
other
are like,
agent,
and they're-
other
people want it
agent
in
writes
writing.
this up and says, this is what you have to agree to. And they agree, their clients agree to it. They send it out. Like, please don't do that. Jim, any insights on that?
I didn't train him that way.
No. For just so everybody knows, our agents did not write these addendums. They allowed their clients to sign them. Please don't do that either. Please say no. We cannot be obligated in a purchase contract. No, they did not write them. I promise you. But they allowed their clients to sign them. So it's like, please don't do that. Please, please.
Protect yourself from the other agent.
That's right. Melissa said, protect yourself from the other agents because they pressure you. All right. No, it's running time here. Please, these things are out there. Obviously, yes, some of this information is old, but if you have not gone through these and you're taking your first listing, I would still watch this video for the detail of that listing contract. Obviously, the CAB form is going away, but it still is useful information to understand the process. We do have a policy regarding increasing your buyer broker agreement. These things are in the newsletter and showing these forms so you can modify these, okay? Make sure you're using the right form if you're modifying your employment agreements. Okay, who can sign? Also, all of a sudden, we've gotten a whole bunch of people that love stamping. John Smith LLC, and it's stamped John Smith LLC. An LLC cannot sign your documents. John Smith, comma, member can sign. John Smith, trustee of the trustee, you know, the trust, da, 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 da.
Isn't there a really good class on that?
There
on
is
YouTube?
a really good class that Title even went over all of this, right? And we have a whole document that's even listing all those different ways you can sign. So we have all of that out there. There is even a step-by-step guide link to how to do this on SkySlope Forms. People keep telling me I can't do it on SkySlope Forms. I don't know how to get the signature stamp. Guess what? There's a whole training class on that we gave you. All right. Thank you so much for all your contributions. So many of you give back, not just locally, but all around the state. And we really appreciate it. If you are not posting those, you can actually put your own hours in here. We do track that from One Cares in general. And our contributions, a lot of this for those of you that attended our holiday party, those numbers are also in there. Thank you for giving back to the Arizona youth in the foster care program. Really want to get started with the Culture Club. We've got a few of you. Anybody else interested in joining for 2025, let me know. They extended the tickets for the One Summit, which is now in November in Miami, so we can warm up in November. That'll be nice. Rev Up, had a great Rev Up. I was the one teaching the class last Friday. We kicked off January immediately with the Rev Up. So the first two were last Friday. 4 and 6 are this Friday. And we continue every Friday. I hope you guys realize that Realty One Group International charges agents $250 to take the same classes that we provide to you for free. So if you're ever looking for just a reboot, consider jumping on one of these. They're always at 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. every Friday, unless it's a holiday. Rock Title has some incredible training. We already missed the introduction to Facebook ads, but Wednesday, the 15th, we have social media profile optimization. That would be tomorrow at 2 o'clock Arizona time. So I did put the AZ time versus Nevada times. Okay. You guys may have seen there should be little things sitting on the counter. I think it's over between Jacqueline over near your chair right there. It says Be Golden, Be You. They are doing a campaign that you can upload a photo or scan some special memory that you have. If you have photos from the holiday party that you want to share. And by the way, you should have gotten all of the links to the holiday party photos. We should have sent those out if you attended. So hope you got those. But if there's something that is just sparks your curiosity that you want to share with Realty One Group, please do that. For the photos, yes, check with Kat or Heather because I believe they sent those out. So yes, okay. Some of you got them. So double check with Heather and Kat to make sure that you get that. Someone was asking me earlier, I'm actually going to, can I zoom out of there and let's see if I can go into, oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Hey folks online, am I still sharing my screen? Can somebody tell me? Can you see? Somebody online tell me if you can see the YouTube channel?
No.
Okay, hang on there. Did that wrong. Okay, how about now? Can you see the YouTube channel online?
Yes.
Somebody online? Yes, okay. So for those that are not aware, we have a YouTube channel. Somebody was asking me where they can find these things. There's a tab called videos. If you go to home, it just has my lovely little holiday short video welcoming you to our holiday party. But if you go to the videos, you will see all of these things, including our office meetings, the sphere of influence class, the MLS choice versus NAR, AAR. So you can see all of that stuff. I don't know why that started playing. That was interesting. Real estate laws for 2025, social media. All of these classes are all on here, right? You can find the what's that form because we have the white brick background. It's really easy to view. What I recommend is you also go to the new forms review that I did a couple of weeks after that showed how things were really working. That is probably either that one or new forms in review and agency. Those two may be almost as good to see how they actually were working in process when people were finally using the forms versus just teaching the forms. So please don't forget about those if you want to go back and look at stuff. If you have not done a listing in a long time and don't know what paperwork you even need to grab, the listing paperwork slam doesn't go over the documents. It just goes over the paperwork so you can make sure you grab everything you need to for a new listing. Okay. And I did actually go over listing and rentals. Somebody asked me that earlier, so I thought I would share that with you. I think we are ready to go to Kim, who unfortunately is not here. Let me just jump back to the slideshow. She is out ill. For those that know Kim, she is our account executive for Old Republic Home Protection. Please remember they changed their plans in November of 24. So the new plans are over here, which with the HVAC. Remember, HVAC rules changed January of 2025. So take a look at those Old Republic protection plans. And then Mike, we are ready for you.
Sit for a while. Getting old, so getting up is kind of hard these days. But, Hi, everybody. I don't have anything as exciting as shaking your phone to do things like that. So anyway, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about, as we get into 2025, what the interest rate forecasts are. How many of you were surprised when the Fed cut rates and interest rates shut up? Mortgage rates shut up? Nobody. Good. You're smarter than most people. So you're smarter than a lot of lenders, actually. So the problem with why interest rates have been so sticky is that inflation has stalled. The progress on inflation has stalled. And so interest rates are starting to go up. Now, tomorrow we're getting a really important consumer price index report released. And if that's better than expected, then we will see a little bit of a reversal of the current upward trend. Fannie Mae is forecasting rates at 6.2% this year. So that is lower than they are right now, but a lot of people are asking for 5s or 4s or whatever. I remember not that long ago, I'm old enough to remember the first time I told somebody their rate was 5 and they almost bit my head off. Now I'm a hero if I say 5. Right? So that's the biggest thing. So tomorrow we have inflation reports. I believe that we should see some improvement in interest rates. Unfortunately, I do think based on some of the economic data that's being released, we are at some point this year going to see a recession, regardless of how the election went. There's just too much of a debt bubble right now. Consumer credit cards are at their highest level ever. Defaults on credit cards and auto loans are probably at the worst level since 2009. Challenger reports announced job cuts, worst level when you remove COVID since 2009. So if we're talking about economics, since 2009 is a bad thing, right? So I expect if once we hit that recession, which nobody really wants, but once we hit that recession, we will see the interest rates come down meaningfully. It's going to take a little time. How many of you actually see my posts in the Facebook group with the rate updates? Okay, 3, awesome. So so Barb and I post those 3, and nobody online raised their hand. So Barb and I post those once or twice a week. Honestly, I post them and she copy pastes them and puts them in the other group. But so basically, look for those because it's pretty important to tell you where the trajectory is. I am still in a stance where if somebody's within 30 days of closing, I'm telling them you should probably lock in because we do have a buy down option if rates do improve by closing. I think the risk outweighs the reward just with the volatility we've seen over the last few years. Okay, so that's really the direction of rates. So what can we do to kind of educate our clients on why they shouldn't wait for rates to fall, right? And you guys talked about it a lot already through this meeting. The first thing that's going to go away is those seller concessions. So you're gonna be paying your own closing costs, and then prices are gonna go, right? I actually had a client, and I can send you the exact scenario if you want to present it to a client that's waiting. She bought last year when interest rates were at 8. She refinanced this year at a 1% lower interest rate. Her next door neighbor, who had the exact same model, sold for $40,000 more than she bought it. So that's a perfect example of why waiting is a bad idea. If you can afford it, we all know affordability is rough right now. But if you can afford to buy a house, it's not going to be any less expensive to buy a house in the future. Right? Just like grocery prices are not going down, just like we're probably not buying Greenland, whatever you guys want to talk about. So it doesn't really matter. And you know, obviously economics can get political. I try to stay pretty neutral in that because I hate everybody that runs for office. So the other option that we have is our all-in-one loan. As I've learned, I've been with Epic now for 6 months. I haven't really dove into this product. It's been around for 18 years. They've had 0 defaults on this loan. Okay. So it is a loan that combines a checking account. I just ran a scenario for a buddy of mine who's been waiting for interest rates to drop into the 6s to buy an investment property. So I ran an all-in-one based on his scenario versus waiting for the interest rates to be 6.5 on an investment property. With the all-in-one and his specific scenario, he would have his mortgage paid off in 9 years. Okay. Now, the interest rate on it is higher, but the interest paid is lower because this is the only product that I'm aware of that is a principal first mortgage payment. So the way it works is it's tied to a checking account. Every deposit you make into that checking account comes off your mortgage. It's a first lien HELOC. You can pull that money back out as needed, but every day it recasts. So you don't pay interest on the balance of your checking account on your mortgage until you use that money again. So in his specific scenario, now his was pretty extreme. A 9-year payoff, the average payoff on the people that use this is 12 years. And it's a 30-year amortizing. So I'm going to be putting a class on about this specific product soon. I know I'm talking fast and I'm using a lot of big words. But I'm trying to talk fast because, you know, we're running short on time. But I will be scheduling later this month a class on this loan for, I really think you guys should be there because I think this product is one of those revolutionary products. The 30-year fixed mortgage was invented 100 years ago, and it was almost 100 years ago, and it was invented to help people get into homes, and it's still a very useful tool. But for people that can do this product, and it's not for everybody, it is life-changing. So I'm gonna put out a lot of effort into getting the word out on this product this year. So any questions? I am right back there most of the time. Yes, sir.
Just a quick question. You're much more in tune to all the macros and financials.
Mhm.
You think we'll assess this year?
Yeah, I think by mid-year, probably. I think we're already in it. It's just the numbers aren't quite reflecting it in the reports. But like I said, Challenger announced more layoffs last year than at any point since 2009 when you removed the COVID year. So that's a bad symptom. And most of the economic activity is debt driven. And at some point when people start defaulting on that debt, they can't borrow anything. Right. So, you know, people are going to get capped out at some point. And so that's going to make it harder for them to spend, especially for this. So I think you're going to see a slowdown in economic activity by the second half of this year for sure.
There were 300 layoffs at Albertsons yesterday.
At Albertsons, and then they raise prices. So, you know what I mean? So, yeah, there's definitely, you know, a bunch of stores closed. Party City just closed unannounced. They just closed all their stores.
What?
Last month.
They announced it.
Yeah, they announced it, but it was like, yeah, we're closing
Last
tomorrow.
month, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't like, hey, we got 30 days. It's like, oh, we're closing tomorrow, right?
Really?
So Party City's done. Yeah, Party City's done. So, and yeah, you have to go to Walmart for your party supplies. So, yeah, so to answer your question, yeah, I could be wrong, but I really, really believe that we are going to see a recession. And like I said, I don't think that would have changed with any of the election results. It's just, it was already coming. So any other questions before? No? All right. Well, anybody over here have questions?
Anybody online have
In
questions?
case you don't recognize me, I used to have a beard, but
Mike, is that you?
yeah.
Anybody online want to unmute?
My
and ask a
5-year-old said he
question?
doesn't like it and he wanted me to tape it back on, but I told him I can't do that. He has to
That's
wait till-
cute. That's
So,
cute.
Thank you, everybody.
All right.
All right, I'm Roberta with Rock Title. Am I there?
Yeah.
I'm short.
Just look right here.
There we go. Who wants to get rockified, in the words of Vaughn?
Fuzzy
Fuzzy rock title socks.
Rock socks.
Rock socks.
What did he say?
One of them.
Okay, wait, you have to repeat
The
that.
question was going to be, but Jason jumped the gun. What does Rock's title stand for? The other question, first hand up, because I can't give multiples. How much is Rock Agent premium? Dave? Per year. You're right. Okay.
Oh, from
What I just paid for? Yeah. And then it just stopped it. So we are conveniently located upstairs to handle all your title and escrow needs. If you have questions, I even get questions at other title companies. I'm more than happy to help. Sometimes you have no choice and it has to go elsewhere. And you run into an issue, I'm happy. I'm here for you. I'm happy to help. Thanks, guys. Happy 2025.
And thank you to Rock Title for our breakfast variety this morning. We greatly appreciate it. Art wasn't able to join us, but if you do have a Spanish language clients, Art and Debbie upstairs both speak Spanish, which is very helpful. For those, how many of you have done a transaction with Rock Title? Can I see hands? Oh my goodness, I've got some people I'm coming after. No, I'm kidding. But seriously, it is great to have them upstairs. I just had one of our agents come to me after dealing with a deal that was supposed to close. This was not a Rock Title deal. Let me clarify that. The concern from the agent was that how disappointed she was in this other company. The deal was supposed to close on the 30th of December. It was a back-to-back closing. Our agent actually was the seller, owner agent of the property, the second closing. And around 1 o'clock, she checked with title to find out how things were going. And that title officer's like, oh yeah, we're fine. Let me just check with the lender. Calls the lender. Lender's like, we're doing just fine. We close tomorrow. Settlement statement said the 30th. Title company never read the loan docs, which clearly said the 31st. Our agent was very nice, which is why I was having a conversation with her, because she did a lovely pre-possession document, because the poor buyer was sitting in her truck waiting for a closing that was not going to happen that day. So everything turned out fine, but please call before you write a pre-possession agreement. But her frustration was, she was like, I just wish I'd been working with Roberta, because this would never have happened. And so it's just unfortunate. Please, I said, you know, what did the settlement say? Settlement said the 30th. Oh, wow.
Well, and a lot of, I'm gonna jump in, a lot of that does fall on the lender too. And when you're working with the lender that you're used to working with, you, like Epic, get docs early, and
Right.
that's not a hang up.
Well, and of course they, you know, this was a back-to-back closing. And our seller would never have seen the loan docs, right? So there's no way our seller would have known that that loan information, you know, obviously they signed title of those people, saw those docs, but our seller did not. So, and it was the end of the year. Yeah, thank goodness it closed on the 31st. So, I'm going to make a comment here, which I'm very torn with the fires in California. Of course, I know people personally that have lost their homes. But I will say that I do expect we will see people coming from California to buy homes here. Do not be surprised for that. People are going to possibly get insurance payouts and choose not to rebuild because of the time and everything else. If they are able to make the move out of California, I expect we will see some of those coming this way.
Would you know, buyers that just closed on the 31st of December from that area in California, and she was very confused about how Arizona doesn't require fire insurance. She asked us several times, and was it a cash transaction? It was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cash, we don't, it's on the buyer. The buyer doesn't want to insure, that's,
If you got homeowners insurance, we don't know what, you know. what
Right.
got of it, but it's not like a required.
it's not required because there's no lender involved, correct?
Yeah.
So the comment online was, somebody had just closed a deal with, this is before, of course, the fires, but somebody had bought a home for cash here and was surprised Arizona did not have requirements to have insurance when you don't have a loan, and we don't, but it's up to the homeowner. Jim, did you have any fine words you wanted to share since we've got you here?
2025. So the one thing, the one question I would have is, what impact do you think the fires in California are gonna have on reporting economic data going forward? You know, because you talk about credit card debt, and it's interesting about the jump in rental rate, you know, the gouging, price gouging going on. And I'm just curious, you know, how does somebody pay, you know, $20,000 a month for rent? Once the place that work got burned down. I mean, it just seems like there's a lot of, build up, artificial is the right word, but unique circumstances that are gonna affect, GNP reporting. For the next
So the
6
the
months to 6 years.
question for those online Jim was talking about is how much do you think the GNP and the reporting regarding the rent increases and things surrounding the fires in California? I think the insurance issue is going to be the bigger thing. How many insurance companies canceled policies 6 months ago that the homeowners don't even know? And secondly, if there was actual arson involved, if people were setting some of those fires, then does the insurance count at all? So there were some evidence that, and I don't know whether which fire or where they were saying
You
potentially.
talk about insurance payouts, you know, that's gonna be what, 2 years from now? I mean, that's not coming anytime soon,
No,
you know, and even the rebuilding, I was talking to somebody that, you know, is aware of what happened in houses. And I was told it takes 2 years to get a building permit.
no, they're saying they're gonna streamline that. The governors and cities have already said they're gonna streamline that, but think about this, folks. We don't, I mean, to get enough contractors, I mean, you're talking tens of thousands of homes. I mean, it's like a whole new subdivision, but they're all custom homes, at least in the, you know, Malibu and Rancho Palos, the Palos Verdes area. I mean, the Eaton fire is more, you know, regular subdivisions, but still, you're talking a massive amount of materials and labor that isn't currently in California. A lot of contractors left California. So we'll see who heads back that way. You know, if you read any of the statistics on some of what's going on around the country right now, Arizona is being ranked number 2 in terms of housing for 2025. And if you're looking at our turnover, I mean, our inventory is up, and they're showing that as a positive, which we agree is a positive, but they're also showing that our price have gone up. Unlike the rest of the country where their inventory is still low and their prices have gone down. So, and I'm gonna guess that this has to do with the businesses that have come in here, not the ones that we've lost, but the new companies coming in here. We still have a huge build out in the Peoria area for the TSMC plant that's going in there, and the multiple plants that are going around it, and all of the businesses going in out there. So Arizona is still expected to grow, huh? Intel at South Chandler, yep, there's still a lot of growth. Goodyear's still got big growth going on. So
Contractors don't follow the money.
you know, there are certainly going to be some that will go to California, but others will stay with their families here. All right, buyers, sellers, notes, anybody want to mention anything? Got anything coming up? Leaf.
Had a new condo listing,
New condo listing, East Phoenix, 32nd Street in Thomas,
250,
250,
bedroom, bath, 900 square feet.
900 square feet. 2004,
They were 2019.
2019 AC.
HOA is 205 a month.
205 HOA.
Unassigned parking and the gated community.
Gated community, one assigned parking. What are the cross streets? Thomas and
32nd Street and Common.
32nd Street and Thomas, okay?
I looked at the PA portal and it showed it in 2009, but it didn't say this time fast.
Okay, anyone else? Jackie, listing in Greyhawk,
That's been on the market for about 3 to 4 weeks. and
3 to
would
4
really,
weeks.
Like
like
to
to
sell.
sell.
It's a 3-bedroom, well, 2 plus a closed-in den.
2
it's
plus den.
950 and it's at the Cache.
950 at the Cache at Greyhawk, so smaller
But
community
it's the
there.
biggest lot inside there. So there's
Largest lot in,
9 townhomes. got the
Cache.
biggest lot of all 69. So. but
Of
they're
the
selling up to
69 homes.
1.3 and mine's only at 950.
they're selling up to 1.3 and it's only 950.
If you have anyone, please go. over there.
So-
They will do a show every day.
Jacqueline Buchko. All right, anybody else? Oh, yes, Lloyd. 2 listings. The Villages redone, 2 ACs, both replaced. Much nicer than anything else there. How much? 449. And what are the cross streets of the Villages? (92nd Street south of Shea. Okay, and your other listing? 16th Street on top of the hill. 360-degree view from the top of the hill there. Realtor broker open house this Sunday. 3 to 6:30, Lloyd Snively. Okay, what's the price? 1.25, the size? North of Sweetwater, 16th Street, north of Sweetwater. So it's 850, is it 85032? 22 or 32? It's 222. It's just a little west. Okay. Great. So look for that. You can reach out to Lloyd Snively. Commercial listing coming soon. 1.4. 7th Avenue, just north of Thomas. Near the hospital, 16,000 square foot buildings. How many square foot building? 4,900 square foot building, 16,000 square foot lot. Yeah, so, okay. All right. Others? Anything else? Nope. All right. Anything online? Anybody online have some listings? Buyers, needs, anything? I got a few people still hanging out online. Nope. All right. You guys have a good one. Have a very happy new year. Our next meeting is on the 11th of February. Come to the class next Tuesday regarding the forms. Thank you so much. Take care.